rain again. It would be a hard
Hey, this is the best time of the year to head outside, kick back, and get lost in a good book. So this week, each of us are giving you our summer reading list picks in a series we like to call Ladies Get Lit. Today, we're getting my picks. And my first book is When Life Gives You Lululemons by Lauren Weisberg. It's a continuation of The Devil Wears Prada, but this time it's all about Miranda's assistant, Emily. Emily is no longer in fashion, but she's an image consultant to all kinds of stars, and when she loses some of her A-listers because she's too old, in walks her comeback client, Carolina, a former supermodel who is also married to a senator, and nothing in this book is quite as it seems. And maybe it's possible, just maybe, Miranda Priestley pays a visit. I think this would make a great film, I'm just saying. My second book is a series called the Pendergast series by Preston and Child. Start with the first book, Relic, where we meet FBI agent Pendergast. He specializes in bizarre and supernatural kind of murder stuff. He also is very strange and different. A true Southern gentleman with a disturbing intuition mind of a serial killer, and he's out to solve a bunch of murders at the museum here in New York City by a group of underground dwellers who have been worked by a new street job, or is it totally something different? You don't know. But once you read Relic, you will want to read the other 16 books in the series. Yes. This book, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, is kind of a Black Lives Matter inspired novel. It's about a 16-year-old girl named Star who lives between the poor neighborhood she lives in and the really fancy neighborhood where she goes to school. It's about an ordinary girl in extraordinary circumstances dealing with issues of racism, police violence, with intelligence, heart, and honesty. And she witnesses the fatal shooting of her childhood best friend by a police officer, and her friend was unarmed. And what do? Protesters take to the street, and the story takes national headlines. This book has been made into a film which comes out October 19th, but please read the book first because I'm telling you, it's fantastic and amazing. Now, speaking of movies, Crazy Rich Asians is a fantastic, brilliant book. This also will be in theaters on August 15th. So good. It is the first book in a trilogy by Kevin Kwan. It's about 3 super rich Chinese families and the gossip and scheming that goes on when heir to one of the biggest fortunes in Asia brings home his American-born Chinese girlfriend, who, by the way, has no clue that her boyfriend is crazy rich. This book could be called Crazy Rich Black People, Crazy Rich Italians, Crazy Rich, you name it, because it's really about being young and in love, family, and crazy rich. Threadbare by Andrew Temple is the story of a teddy bear who is magically animated. This is not a kid's book. He was considered a failed experiment by his maker, but creates a bond with the creator's young daughter. They go on adventures, fight monsters, discover that the world is full of real conflicts. It's a good thing that they live in a world that operates under video game mechanics, where characters acquire skills and gain levels. It's a wonderful book. It made me so happy when I started to read it. But again, it's not a kid's book. It's for grown-ups. And the last book. Now, I cannot tell you what the name of this book is, but it starts with toddlers are. Okay? And it's written by Buddy Labyrinth. It is a laugh-out-loud book for all of you parents and grandparents. It offers comic relief if you're raising a toddler. It covers feeding, potty training, tantrums, the bedtime routine, and everything else you think you're screwing up. You know what I mean? You know how toddlers are always coming for you? When they ask you all morning to cut up some fruit, I want some fruit, I want some fruit, I want some fruit, over and over and over. And then when you bring them the fruit, they look at you and they say, I want chips. Yeah. This is that book. And I loved listening to the audio version of this one because one of my favorite readers, Bonnie Turpin, as brilliant as she is reading this book, it is delivered to perfection. So, I'm going to tell you, these books are really great. I love them so much, and you will too, because members of our audience, you're getting a copy and an audio copy download of all of these books.